Hi peeps, and welcome to another episode of Tech Talk with Sean. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to do an animated lower thirds in OBS. It's quite simple and it uses your browser. There's nothing to install, just a couple of files to add. So let's look at that. So as I said, we're going to look at animated lower thirds in this small tiny tutorial. So this is specially for OBS, but I suppose you can use it for slobs as well. So let's get right onto it. It uses your browser. So first let's go to the browser. Let's take a look at that. Okay, I go to my browser and let's look for OBS Studio. And we come to the first result. Let's click on that and we'll go to the forum. This is assuming that you've already installed OBS and you kind of know how to use OBS. In case you don't know, link is going to pop up on how to use OBS, a basic rundown of that. So let's hit on forum over here and let's come down to tools. So at the moment, one of the earlier results will be the animated lower thirds with control panel. Now this is posted by from 1975. That's a user. I'm not sure whether he's the one who's developed it or not, but he's the guy or girl who's posted it over here. So it's relatively new. As you can see, the date is April 12th, 2020. So anyway, let's hit on download over here and let's save it. It's going to ask me where to save. Yep. So let me save it to the desktop for now. Save. So that's done. So we come down here and we go into the downloads. Okay, it's on the desktop. I'll unzip it here for now. Extract, and yeah, these are the files that it's showing me. And it's in a folder called OBS Tools. So I'll copy this extracted folder. I've hit Control C, or you can right click and say copy. Then let's head back to C:, your C drive where your OBS is, OBS Studio. I will paste the folder over here. So now in OBS you have a couple of you have a digital clock, and these are the common files where the scripts are, and you have this folder called lower thirds. So let me open control panel. So this is what it looks like. What we can do is copy this from the address bar, the path of that, and we can actually close this window. Let's get back into OBS. So we're back in OBS. We come into view, and in docs we're going to create a new custom browser doc over here. So we hit that and let's name this lower thirds, and in the URL it's a local file, so we'll paste that link over here. We don't need this initial bit, and let's hit apply. And so you get this window over here. We can close this dock window, and if you want, you can kind of dock this. Okay, let's dock it there to the side. Now this is the control panel, and what it does is these are some pre-made names and titles which you could use. By clicking here, you'll see that it shows up over here, and you just have to hit show and hide. But before that, we need to create a browser source in this particular scene. So let's come down here and hit browser over here. Let's call this also lower thirds. Say OK, and let me move this here. Let's set local file, and let's go to browse. We come back to the OBS folder, get into OBS tools in the lower thirds, and this time we select browser source. So let's select that browser source and select this size to 1920 by say 200 should be good, because you're only using a lower third, so that should be good enough, I assume. And let's hit OK. So now we get this lower thirds browser source, which can be seen. So now all we have to do is say select one of these names and hit show, and it should hide show. And yes, oh yeah, it's up here. I missed that. So bring it down, and there you have it. Hit show when you want it seen, hide when you want it gone. Click another name and you hit show and it animates in, and when you hit hide it animates out. As simple as that. You can also enter your own name up here and your own designation, and there you have it. Your own name and designation just shows up. Now I'll show you a way to customize this as well. Okay, it goes into a little bit of editing the HTML file and a little bit of CSS, but it's not so difficult. So what we'll do is now I'll show you how to edit these names in case you have a fixed number of people who are there doing or coming on your OBS. You can have their names. So let's take a look at how we can edit this. So let's go into the lower thirds. We'll open this control panel. It's a HTML file. Open with, and we have Notepad over here. So let's open with Notepad, and you scroll down, and there you can see the names over here and the designations over here. So we can just change this to character number 1 and change the designation to designation 1, and this will be person number 2 and the title of number 2. So let me just save this to the desktop for now. Control panel.html, save it, close it. Now let me let me open a new window here. Let me bring that window in here and go to the desktop. I have control panel.html, right click or control C, copy it, come here, right click and paste, or control V, replace the file in the destination, continue. I will need to close this window and I'll reload this lower third doc over here. So let's close it for now. You just closed, okay. So let's go back to view, docs, and let's open lower thirds again. And there you have it. You have now character number 1 with the designation. You can hide it. Person number 2, show person number 2 and their title, hide that. Let me show that once again. And now, so it's quite simple and not so daunting to change the default names over here, to customize it to what you may need. So the next thing we look at is changing the color of the text over here. Now to do that, we go back into lower thirds, but this time we go back one step into this, into OBS tools. We get into common and we go into CSS. So what we need to do is we need to edit this CSS file, the style 001 file. So similarly, we'll right click on this and let me go to open and let me select Notepad. So we come all the way down and we look for where here we have where it says the font. So let's select this. This 555 is the gray color. So let's find another pleasing color. Let's open a new browser. Let me see that. We can go to coolors.co. You get good color palettes over here, and let's start the generator. Let's go. We can close the tutorial and say we want this color. So we need to copy this hex value. That is the value that is there in the CSS file. So we'll replace the first color with the color we copied from there. Let's get back and maybe this color. Okay, let's copy this. Come back to the CSS file and replace this number over here. So I'll just save this as well to the desktop. Let's save it and close this window. Let's get back into OBS. Oh, before that, we need to come to the desktop, copy this CSS file that we edited, come into the CSS folder in OBS and paste. And we will replace the file in the destination. So now let's come here and hide the character and let's show. Okay, it's not happening because I need to restart OBS for it to show. So let's just hide this and I'll be back after restarting OBS. So we're back in OBS and now we can select the character we want and we hit show. And there you have it. We have the yellow and this kind of bluish green color, which we selected from the palette. Easy peasy. That's how you do it to customize the colors. Now there's one more customization that you might want to do, which is change this logo. That is also quite simple to do. So let's just go back to this OBS tools folder. In the common folder, you have the images over here, and this file is what is your logo file. So it's called logo.png. You can replace it with any other file of yours in case you have a logo. I'll go and I'll find a file in my on my computer that has a logo of some sort. So I found a file and I'm pasting it here. I will rename this to say logo old, and this one I shall rename to logo. Okay, so let's get back into OBS. I guess OBS needs to be restarted. So now I have restarted OBS. I'm going to select a character and I hit show, and there you have it. There's a new logo over here. It has transparency and the colors don't match with the background, but that's about it. You can move this wherever you need to, and you're able to customize this lower thirds. And there you have it. Simple, easy way to get animated lower thirds. Takes you probably about 5 minutes. You can do it, you can customize it. I've showed you how to do that. Hats off to the developer. If it is from 1975, thank you. If it's not, thank you to whoever developed it. I was looking for something like this. There are some other tutorials, but they don't exactly tell you how to customize it. I hope this is useful. If you like it, hit the like button. If you loved it, subscribe to it. I'll see you again. Stay safe. Until next time.